go to our site. Excellent. So good. All right, so she's confirming it is in progress. We want to encourage questions from you as well. I have some questions that I'll talk about what the format is in a moment, but if you have questions, please put them in the chat and John will make sure that they're read out. And so as we have time, we have questions and we have ministers speaking, so you know how that goes. I'm sorry, yeah, we are in sunny California at the Ohm Center for Spiritual Living at the ANTN Annual Board Retreat. So welcome. And what I would like to do right now is to ask the board members to briefly introduce yourselves. And shall we start with the board president?
Why don't we?
Yeah.
Well, good morning and good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. We're so glad you're with us. I'm Reverend Dr. Jerry Troyer, president of the affiliated New Thought Network.
And I am Reverend Dr. Pjae Stanley, and I am the secretary of the board of ANTN.
And I am Reverend Brock Ford, and I am on the membership committee of ANTN, and very excited to be so.
I'm Reverend Dr. Martha Creek, and I'm your newly appointed board of directors to fulfill an unfulfilled term of Michael Spear. So I'll be serving the board again until September this year.
Or longer. Just put it out there.
One step at a time.
Put it out there.
We'll see.
We'll
What's
see.
gestating there.
We'll see.
I'm Reverend Bill Marcioni. I am the vice president of the board and the chief technology officer, it seems.
I'm the Reverend Dr. Melissa Higginbotham, and I'm the Emerson Institute representative.
And I'm Reverend Dr. Michelle Whittington, currently a board member and currently the treasurer.
I'm Reverend Gay Beauregard, and I am a member of the board, brand new on board.
And okay, so do we want to recommend?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you want to introduce yourself?
All righty.
Please.
Hi there, I'm Reverend Dr. John Karn, and I am the ANTN administrator.
Thank you. Thank you all for being here. And we will have some questions, but right now, we would like to just start off with a message from the president.
Good morning and good afternoon again, everyone. Just a few announcements, starting with the fact that we have had an amazing week
Yes, we
in
have.
warm and sunny San Diego. We've done amazing work. I am so blessed. Our organization is so blessed to have this extraordinary group of people leading our organization. They are amazing and wonderful. We've laughed, we've cried, we've swore, we've just had an amazing time, and we have accomplished wonderful things that I'm so excited to tell you about very quickly. Reverend Dr. Martha alluded to one of the changes. As you may remember, Reverend Michael Spear resigned from the board at the end of last year. And so it is my great joy to reaffirm that Reverend Dr. Martha Creek said yes to coming on the board to take that open seat until at least September when we do our elections again. And when that seat will be up for re-election. So we honor and celebrate and love and adore you, and thank you for that.
Yeah.
After considerable discussion, recognizing that ANTN is growing and prospering and the universe always says yes, we choose to grow ourselves up and to equip ourselves to play with the big kids, as our beloved Edwin Gaines would say. And so it is my great privilege, and I'm getting God bumps as I'm saying it, to announce that ANTN has hired an executive director, and it is Reverend Dr. Michelle Whittington.
Yay.
So Michelle will be officially taking many of the responsibilities that she's already had related to programs, as well as working with Reverend Dr. John on communications and many other things. So we are so grateful that you said yes, and so excited for that change and the amazing things that will happen as a result. So with that happening, Reverend Dr. Michelle, it will no longer be a board member, which means she will also no longer be the treasurer. And so it is my great joy to announce that Reverend Gay Beauregard said yes and will be our new treasurer.
Yay.
So we thank you and are very grateful for that. So amazing things are happening within Anton, and we are so grateful for all of you for taking the time to be with us. And you are the cool kids because nobody else except us in this room and you all on this Zoom call know about these changes. So there will be an email come out next week to announce to everyone, but y'all are the first ones to find out. So we're just really, really excited.
Yay.
Thank you, Pjae.
Thank you so
Yay.
much. And so just want to let everybody know that if you want to be a cool kid, you need to be on Thought Leader Thursday. Get the 411 immediately. All right, so we're going to jump right in then with some questions that we have. And the format will be that we're going to ask questions, just throw it out into the room to whoever feels called to answer the question. And then we will take a question from the chat. So do feel free to ask a question in the chat. John will be monitoring and let us know what those questions are. If there is no question in the chat, we'll go to the next question that we have. So, ladies and gentlemen, the first question, how would you describe Anton to someone who doesn't know Anton? What do we do? Who are we? How do we help and serve?
I would describe Anton as a place for individual thinking leaders. I believe we're here to lead. I believe we are already leading, and that we're here to innovate, and that we're attracting them to us and serving people that have a collaborative spirit, an innovative spirit that is evolved beyond any sense of competition or lack or any notions like that that are false. I believe it's an absolute love fest. And if you've been to our retreat and conference, you know exactly what I mean. So it's a community of people that absolutely are here to hold an energy of love and not just a theory of love, but to be and express that in the world. And that we have programming and services in place to absolutely cheer on any individual practitioner, minister, or center to their best becoming and the next greatest iteration of themselves, and to do so with the greatest of ease and grace.
Thank you, Martha. Anyone have anything to add to that?
How could we
Yes.
add to that? Oh, sorry, go ahead, Bill.
And the only other thing else is that we're a network. We are a peer network where we can work across centers, across geographies, across denominations. So we can have ministers from unity and divine science and religious science who are sharing things. And we can have practitioners and teachers and lay people who are making connections with their folks and be able to take the best ideas from everybody and spread it out to all of us.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bill, I can't read the chat box. Can you check yours?
Okay. Who do you think would be called to be a part of Anton? Based on who we said we are right now, who do you think would be called to be a part of this?
So I'd love to address that. I think any New Thought center,
Yeah.
any New Thought independent minister, and any individual who is in New Thought teachings would absolutely love to be. I mean, it would gain so much from being a part of this organization. There's something for everybody here. There's support for everybody, whether you're a senior minister or a congregant or someone who doesn't even go to a church but leans toward New Thought teachings. If you want to be supported and loved and held, as Martha said, in this energy, real love, not just, we don't talk about it, we live it. So I think anybody who has any New Thought leaning in any way could benefit from being a member of Anton.
Thank
We have
you.
two people with their hands
Go
up.
to Abigail first.
Abigail, okay, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you very
absolutely.
much. And so we do have a question in the chat from Abigail.
Oh, I don't have a question. I just want to say, just ditto for what just came forth. But also, I like to think of Anton as that people find a home that are working out of the box. Steve and I have been working out of the box for a number of years with a variety of programs and different ways of what we say consciousness is our sole authority. And Anton is a place for people who aren't always the minister of a church. It could be a person that's doing some other kind of work, like we're involved in interfaith, and yet we are a New Thought presence in that arena. And so we find a place in Anton that we couldn't find any place else. And it's always been this loving, caring, supportive community for us and for anybody else working out of the box. And so I'm so grateful always for Anton for this. Thank you.
Much, Abigail. Thank you.
Amen.
Sherry, please, Sherry, please.
And then Sherry, you have your hand up?
Yeah, sure, yes.
Yes, I just wanted to add to everything that was already said, the thing that calls my heart to Anton is that I see Anton as an organization whose primary function is lifting the consciousness of the human race. Shifting us from fear and into love, shifting us away from conflict and into peace, shifting us away from separation and into oneness, and shifting us away from I, me, my, to we, us, ours.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well done. Well said.
May I add?
Yes, please.
If-
Absolutely.
If I may just add one
Thank you.
thing, that Anson is a membership organization. And if you are of New Thought Consciousness, that means you qualify to be a member. You don't have to be, and it was mentioned before, you don't have to be a minister, you don't have to be a practitioner. You can be an individual part of a church or individual out doing your own thing, but you qualify to be a member of Anton. And you can go to the website, www.anton.org, ANTN.org, for more information on membership.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you, for your comments. So the next question I want to ask you is, how has Anton served you? And why is that important to you?
May I take that? Do you
Please.
mind?
Yeah.
I have the most amazing people in my life. And so many of those amazing people are part of Anton. And if it weren't for Anton, I would not know Michelle Whittington. And I wouldn't know Martha Creek. And I wouldn't know John Karn. And chances are I wouldn't know the people in this room and the people on our Zoom call today. I wouldn't know Stephen Abigail. I wouldn't know Sherry. I wouldn't know you, all of you that are so amazing, such amazing lights in my life. And so I think at the top of the list is the heart-to-heart connections that we make with one another. And if it weren't for Anton, we wouldn't have that.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes.
Yeah,
Bill.
I can add to that. Anton is the home of love. I've been involved in other organizations before, the top-down headquarter-based organizations with all of the rules. And the first time I came to an Anton conference, I was told, "Oh, we don't do politics. We just do love."
Yeah.
And the answer is always yes. And then we work out exactly what was the question. And I've taken that and run with it. And it's allowed me and New Thought Philadelphia to blossom.
Excellent. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, Missy. Thank you, Bill.
When I traveled a lot, and I was always looking for others like me.
Mm.
And it wasn't until I found Anton that I found others like me. And because there's so many people in their spiritual growth that they're out there, but they don't see others like them. They're doing it on their own. And they're saying, well, where's my tribe? And when I found Anton, I found my tribe.
Thank you. Yes,
I could add to that
Thank
too.
you.
When I first came to Anton, it was at our conferences, and the amazing speakers that we've had over the years, you know, Walter Starkey and just amazing people that feed you, you know, and I was going to tag on what Jerry said too, the connection, the absolute connection and meeting people and the heart connection with all of us.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, baby.
Allie Bishop.
All right. So Allie, thank you all so much for your comments. And Allie, you have a comment for us or a question?
I do. I have a comment to answer the question, what does Anton mean to me? And as you were sharing, all of you, I was feeling so emotionally connected to not only the core, the mission and the vision of Anton, but just thinking how Anton has supported me. I arrived in Anton when I was in practitioner training in my 30s, my early 30s. I'm about to be 60 in April. I can't believe it. Oh my gosh. And Anton has been a constant. And I've sometimes been really involved, sometimes not very involved, but Anton and all of you, many of you, have been partners with me, whether you know it or not. You know, maybe we don't know each other personally very well, but when I come to the retreat every year, that's a special sacred moment in time where we make connections, we make heart-to-heart connections. And so the ongoing feeling of being part of a network, the ongoing looking forward to our retreat every year, that has seen me grow up over the years, over the last 20 plus years, and mature into the woman that I am today. And just knowing that I can call Jerry, or I can call Michelle, or whomever, Charles, my beloved co-board member on the Big Sky Retreat, and I can be connected and get some wisdom and get some support and shed a tear and know that you're there, and also learn from you. I've seen all of you, many of you, go through your own ups and downs with your ministries, with your losing loved ones and losing colleagues, and you have helped me to move through all the experiences, the struggles that I've had, and the growth and the celebrations that I've had. And so Anton is an amazing constant, and a community that I look forward to seeing where it goes and how it supports many, many New Thought leaders, authors, centers, churches, ministries, and whatever else it's going to do in the future. So thank you, Board of Directors. I'm so excited for you being there together and giving birth to what's coming next. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And just want to give a shout out to Mary Beth. Hi, thank you so much for being here. Hi.
Hi.
Thank you.
Hi,
Thank you.
can I speak to that question too? Is that okay? Can I just say a couple of things about Anton in terms of how it affected me personally? I started in Anton in 2014, having co-pastored 2 churches and founding one of them with Michael. And from the minute I got into Anton, it was the warmest, most genuine, most principled group I had ever experienced. And I've always felt that way since. And I had the pleasure of also serving on the board. The thing I just wanted to add is what I greatly appreciate about Anton is in the model of dissipative structure. In order for an organism or an organization to evolve into a higher order, there has to be perturbation, like things that perturb, and then there has to be the ability to be fragile in it so that it can move, it can evolve. And Anton reminds me of like the Escher drawing of the hand, drawing the hand. You know, the hand is New Thought and the hand is Anton, and we're drawing each other, and we keep growing the edge of it. You know, there's no silos in Anton. There's just the serving New Thought and serving those who serve New Thought. So I've seen it evolve. I've seen it evolve out of organizations and all that. It just is, it's just an organic living thing. And I just am, I've been in that room and I've been through this, you know, the retreat, and I just love you guys. And I just, it's just the best peeps on the planet. I love hanging out with the club group.
Thank you, Mary. Absolutely. We love you too so much. Thank you all. Thank you. All right. Thank you, guys. Wonderful. So the next question I'd like to ask you, and I'd like, it's all been personal. I was going to say it's a personal question, but they've all been personal. What do you bring to the board? Like, how do you, why do you want to serve? Yes.
It's consciousness. It's Anton is an organization that has to have a foundation of consciousness. And if we want to grow, and if we want to grow in integrity and impeccability and in truth and in grace and in love, then it takes a focus on the highest divine consciousness that we can emanate and radiate. And so I want to be a part of that. I want to be, to contribute to hold and anchor that, and to help the collective expand that consciousness so that we can hold the template for the future in the now point, and allow the expansion to happen so we can be the beacon of truth for the world.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you.
Michelle Wadley has a question.
Okay. Okay. Let me just say a couple of things. Does anybody else have a comment about what you bring to the
Yeah,
table?
I'll
Yeah.
chime in on that. I have a passion for the growth of New Thought.
Passion for the growth.
You know, I have always seen New Thought as a bright light. And there are people who are looking for it. And with Anton and with all the work that I'm doing, it's about hoisting that light up so people who are looking for it can find it. And Anton is a vehicle for that. And so I bring that passion that Anton brings, the big tower.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It does. And I'm the host, I'm not gonna say a lot, but I just want to share with you that you don't always have to know what it is you bring to the table. I didn't know, and I came because Anton has been so supportive and powerful in my life and my growth as a minister. I had to get on the board if they accepted me and serve, because I've been served, and I think that's how it works. So I just wanted to put that out there. Who did you say?
So Michelle Wadley has a question in the chat. How do you become a volunteer?
You just
Oh,
did.
oh, you just did, baby. You just did.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Your name is down here.
Awesome.
Love it. Yeah, we will get to you about that. Thank you. Believe me.
And anybody else who's interested in becoming
Yes.
a volunteer, raise your hand a little bit.
And put that little hand up in the chat and we will mark you
Oh,
down.
there
Yes.
goes Christine Weber.
Tremendous
There's
possibilities.
a hand right there. You
and
know,
a
getting
lot
those
of
names
growth going
down.
on.
Christine Weber.
Yeah. Okay,
I'll get
we'll
them
get the
down.
names down and we will contact you about what's going on. Thank you. Thank you for the question.
And I have a question for Anton.
Yeah.
I gotta say, my experience with New Thought and from everything that I've followed and read on Anton is awesome. Individually, I've grown with my husband, and my husband and I have taken it down to my 9-year-old son. And my question is this: does Anton have resources or have a pathway for families, for resources for parents who want to raise their children with our beliefs?
Very good question. Thank you. Who wants to tackle that? Anyone? Do we have thoughts on that? We're getting crickets.
We as an organization do not currently, but I would encourage you to reach out to an Anton congregation or a CSL congregation or a Unity congregation in your area and check with them and see what resources they have available.
You know, I thought one of y'all was going to talk about youth ministry and the sorts of things that you're doing in your local center. So I have Christine that lives in Baltimore. She's a member of New Thought Philadelphia. And we don't currently have a youth program. As you guys know, I've had huge involvement with teen programs. And the thing that we want to do is get 2 families with kids, and then we got a youth program. And we make that happen. So if anybody wants to talk
Well,
about.
Christine, I can say this is Martha, and I'm marthacreek@gmail.com. And I've been working in New Thought churches, including developing youth and family curriculum and leading that for 20 some years because of how important it is to me. And I have links to curriculum and support, not directly, but indirectly through colleagues that I've known and worked with for 20 some years. And if you'll email me, I'll put you directly in touch with extraordinary people that are supporting families and using New Thought material exclusively for that.
Thank you so much. That would be great.
Welcome.
And so,
And
So-
but- I'm sorry, before we do that, can we just do a really quick shout out to our beloved Reverend Dr. Carol Lawson? We love you and adore you and know ease and grace for you in where you are and what's next. And we're so glad to see you and thanks for being with us.
Hi, Carol.
and I wanted to put a cap on what Martha just said, that this is what we do here. This is what is a powerful thing about Anton. Whether we actually do the service or not, the resources here are extraordinary. extraordinary. So one of the things that we would encourage you to do is to reach out to the members of this organization when we do have them on a directory, and we're moving to something else that will be more helpful, but we do have that. And so we encourage you to reach out to the members, to the board, if you have any questions, like was just asked, about things that you're working on. That's what we're here to do. So thank you very much. And I didn't catch the name of who's asking.
Sherry, Reverend Sherry Johnson.
Reverend Sherry, you have a question or a comment?
No, I just raised my hand because you said if you want to volunteer, raise your hand.
This is a good day.
No, we got it.
And could I take a
Yeah.
pause real quick, just to another shout out to Roseanne, who's on the call for the first time. Hi, Roseanne.
First time.
And Roseanne just submitted her application to become a member, so we won't have a chance to review that this meeting, I don't think, but we will next meeting. But anyway, Roseanne, hi, sweetie, I love you, and I'm so excited that you're here.
Yay.
And you'll be joining Auntie. Yay!
And you can join Roseanne and me and Reverend Jerry and others in a series coming up in March to process through awakening through grief and looking at recovery through grief and its recovery, awakening through and from grief. So the three of us will be leading classes in March. They're right on marthacreek.com website. There's no charge or registration. And that's also how to get support for you. You're welcome to put that out to anybody in the world that wants it. And you'll get to know some of us through those processes too, as well as other Allie. Oh, Allie's here too. Allie will be as one of the leaders for that. So more resources, more support.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you all. All right. So the next question. We are here at our board retreat, and it has been, to me, an amazing week. Let's talk about what's happened here for you. What's come out of this for you? What are you excited about?
May I go first?
Please.
I've already spoken twice, but I.
Don't you worry about that, girlfriend.
Oh, well, okay, two things. One, I cannot tell you how excited, I'm gonna get a little misty as well here to be elected or hired, I guess would be the word, as the executive director of ANTN. When the idea of having an executive director popped up, my whole body said, I want that job. And I'm so grateful that the board said yes to that, because I love this organization. I've been a member for 25 years, and now to step up and serve it in this level just makes me so excited. So that's one thing. The second thing I'm so excited about that's happened here is that we approved what's called, and again, you're the cool kids to find out about this first. It's called the Extraordinary Support Project, which is a litany of ways in which we're going to step up to support our membership. And it is amazing. More details to come, but it is going to be an amazing opportunity for support and for those of us who want to give that support and actually get a stipend for giving that support. So it's a win-win for everyone in our organization, and it is going to be amazing. So stay tuned for more information about that.
Yay. Yes, thank
wanna
you,
add-
Bill.
I want to add on the Extraordinary Support Program. It is funded. That's one of the big things that we're doing is it's not like we're asking volunteers to go help somebody in need. It's like when somebody has an opportunity for growth, we're going to facilitate, put the program together, and also make sure that it's funded.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you. What else? What else are we excited about? What's happened here this retreat? This is my first time, so I'm very excited. I'm more excited than anybody. Yes.
I'm excited that the coherence of the board, how quickly the heart energy came together on all levels, body, mind, spirit, but the coherence, and we came together in consciousness towards a common goal.
Yes.
That was exciting. And I'm excited to be here and be able to contribute. So.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, I'm excited to be here. a little surprised. When I gave my letter to see if I was going to be able to be nominated to get onto the board, they asked you what in the letter, what are your purpose? What would you like to do? You know, how would you like to serve, and what's your passion? And I just said, however Spirit wants to call me, I'm open for it. And I've never been a treasurer. Neither had I. Neither had I.
Yeah, you have a lot of
But
resources.
I have all of these wonderful people that are saying, you can do it, you can do it, yes, you can do it. And I know because she has just been our treasurer,
Right.
that is just so explicitly set up.
And you have been a treasurer before, you've forgotten.
I did, I
Yes,
know,
yes.
back in the day.
Yeah.
But, and we have a bookkeeper that really does the nitty gritty. So I'm not overwhelmed by it. I'm thinking that it's an opportunity again to grow.
Yes.
And I'm gonna learn things like how to share my screen on Zoom. So, and it'll be fun, so.
I think that's another thing that Anton has to offer is all these opportunities for growth.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
May I add
Yes.
one more thing?
Please.
I've heard stories of boards of directors, and that might have been your experience as well. And it's been to a degree my experience in the past, that you go to your board meeting and go home and either have a really stiff drink or try and glue the hair that you pulled out of your head back on your head. And what happens with the Anton board, with the new additions of Gay and Brock, and now Martha, is that we come together as one mind and one heart, and we have these wonderful ideas and we talk about them. So there's no rubber stamping going on. So the president says, hey, let's do this, and everybody says, okay, fine. So our board is not a group of bobbleheads. It's a group of wise, loving people. We talk about it and we decide what makes sense and what doesn't. And so I'm so incredibly grateful for the heart, but also for the wisdom, because we come from that place of discernment and from wisdom as far as what makes sense and what doesn't. And it's just been the most amazing week.
It has.
Yeah.
It really has. Thank you. Absolutely. Are there any questions or anything?
Mm.
John? Okay. All right. Thank you all. So and I guess you guys probably kind of already answered that, but I'll ask it again just in case something else comes up for you. This is what's coming up for Anton. What are we doing next? And you said a number of things, but is there anything else that we wanted to share with them that's coming up next in terms of our vision and how we're moving forward? You feel me? That's it?
Well, I think there's plenty coming up because of the speakers that we have set for this retreat this year is really outside of the realm of anybody we've used or thought about before, internationally known, the top of their field and what they do. So we're broadening out in that way. We've absolutely been working to take down not only the silos within our own organization, but the silos within the New Thought organization for 5 years. So we have more collaboration, like Reverend Bill is on the INTA board. We've got Divine Science represented. We've got Unity folks coming to each of our conferences to present there. We've got AG&T, our support of them. We just sent off another tithe check to AG&T, by the way, for some of those of you that ask about that, and to the INTA, and we received a tithe check from INTA. So the things that we put in place have been working for these last several years now are really into fruition. And we've gotten partnerships developed and a sense of collaboration that's beyond even what we dreamed of, I believe, 5 years ago that we thought would be possible, maybe in our lifetimes. That's possible now within just a few short years. Not to mention really determining within our own walls and our own infrastructure who is actually the members of Anton. Not who looks like they're members or who thinks they're members, but who's actually in membership with Anton and who's a fit, who is coherent and congruent with what is going on here and what we're about, and how to continue to grow that in not just numbers, but in ways that we serve and in our own mission. So I believe it's absolutely infinite. I live it, I see it, and we're a demonstration of it. So what's happened this week is a clearing of some weeds, is a seeds put down, a fertilizing of the seeds that are already down. And you've heard bits and pieces of it, but there's a list this long of what's happened in just a couple of days here that is very fruitful from all of you that's been here for 27 years and been coming and serving the board and sending your donations and holding this in consciousness that we're a living manifestation of it, and to be determined what's going to happen from this week.
Thank you so much.
I'd like to add something.
Do.
I'm Reverend Lisa Solomon. I've had my hand up for quite a while. I did want to ask more about your ideas about going forward and reaching younger people and using technology. Now, I know Reverend Marciano is, and I'm on his email list on how to use, I come from the IT world, but, you know, with the pandemic, it's been hard to connect with people because it's so easy to go in person on an annual retreat and create connections. But also Zoom allows us to do other things. And one of the things that I would love to see, and wondering whether this is part of your ideas, is to have the general population membership and have subgroups. For instance, I'm interested in reaching out to the unaffiliated, spiritual but not religious group of people. And I would love other people who were interested in that so that we could start our own discussion group on it. Also, I think it's really important for all of us to get together, and a lot of times, how do you explain what New Thought is to people who don't know anything about it? So anyways, I guess my question is, you know, how do you make recommendations? And also, in this time of COVID, which is going to end pretty soon, how do you get your mentorship? If I sign up, what do I do? Do I just say, I need a mentor? Or, yeah, how do you do that? So I know it's a long question, but anyways.
Let me take a swing at
Thank
that.
you.
And first off, I'm going to make a comment, John. We need to put Lisa on the volunteer list as well.
Excellent.
Because it's as a network, as a group, what we're looking to do is to be the hub, the pivot point, so that when we have people who have a passion that clearly you have of saying yes, and how do we make that work? And we can leverage technology, and we can get messaging together for how we can talk to the SBNR, spiritual but not religious people who are looking for this but don't know that it's called New Thought, and get that message out to them. So there are lots of little ways that we're doing that. As we go from through the transition from being completely virtual to being hybrid to being in person with remote people, we're inventing this as we go along. So the answer is we don't know yet, but we know that the answer is yes. And once we work out the question, it's going to be happening. And it's exactly the sort of question, how do we get a small group together? Well, you get two people to make a group, and then you invite some more people, and suddenly it's a group. And it gets to the point where, okay, well, we can't all get together on Thursday night. Well, we're going to have a second group that's going to meet on Tuesdays. And that's the way it grows. And our job is to climb up on the diving board and take those first steps and see what happens.
Right, right.
I think, Lisa, though, to contact us directly, admin@anton.org, and email questions, ideas, support, and that'll be filled out through John, our administrator, to whoever's in leading that kind of call, and to reach back out to you to see what you're thinking, what your ideas are. And Bill's got great ideas about our conference and sorting us into some affinity groups there while we're at conference, which can be done virtually and in person. So that'll be, if there's already formed, we'll certainly lift those up at retreat. And if they're not formed, there'll be some forming of these type of affinity groups there. So keep asking your questions and bringing it forward, and get it on an email to us or call us directly. All of our contact is right on that website as well.
But basically go to the admin. Okay.
Admin@anton.org is the way to get that started. And there's also been a suggestion, which we're going to continue to push out into the field, is to encourage every member center to send a young adult to the annual retreat, to pay for it, not just to say you should go, but to fund it. That's how this gets started. So find a young adult who's interested, because once you get into that field, it's like, ooh, I got to get some more of this.
Mhm. And would you talk about the virtual retreat?
Yep, I will talk about the virtual retreat. The big annual retreat is the end of September at Unity Village, which involves travel and hotels and meals and things like that. And also because we don't want to wait that long, and because some people don't want to go that far, we're doing a virtual retreat. We did one last year because we were impatient to get together. It's going to be April 22nd, which is Earth Day. It's a Friday, and it starts at 11:30 Eastern, which is 8:30 Pacific time. And there are 4 one-hour main sessions, actually 3 main-hour sessions, and an evening 90-minute concert. And we're bringing together people from all over the New Thought world so that we can all connect together, and it's free. And the idea is take some time or an entire day and immerse yourself and connect with this energy. We're going to be on Zoom, but it's relatively well organized, and the technology tends to work. Spectacular music. We're not announcing anything quite yet, but that's going to be an amazing program. April 22nd.
Did you have a comment?
Well, the only comment I had was I just looked at the screen and saw Sarah Blackburn is here. So Sarah, I wanted to say hi to you. So happy that you're with us. We haven't given you a shout out yet.
So I just want to comment back to you to the question that you were saying. What I know happened for me when I first got going here was that I had to reach out. Nobody knew that I had issues or questions or that I needed help. And so I reached out to Martha, and then Martha told me about Allie, and it was on me to reach out and say, I need some help. In fact, I went to the Facebook page first and just say, hey, anybody out there? Help me, please. So that's how I got started. Oh, they talked to Martha, and there were some responses about that. So, we're here. We're available. There's a lot, just a ton of resources. And this is the first time that I've heard what you're looking for. And it looks like you've got a few responses and a place to start. And that's how it goes. So thank you all. That's exactly what we're here to do. Thank you so much. Is there anyone waiting for questions? Okay. All right.
Oh, wait,
Charles.
Dr. Charles just
Oh.
raised his hand.
Dr. Charles, okay, you have your hand up. You have a question or a comment, either way.
First of all, I want to honor this Anton board and those that have served, those that are newly appointed, and the spirit and the heart and the consciousness with which this organization is founded and continuing to evolve and develop, and it is so magnificent. And we are newly aligned to Anton under the new membership definition that I'm so appreciative that it broadens the scope and the intent of what you are about, which is the evolution of consciousness that is not necessarily about spiritual centers in the traditional way. And mind your own becoming is most certainly not that. That's my new call. It is not a center. It is a educational public forum on standing for all lives that have not mattered. And we are growing. It is profound. Dr. Lim Watson is here. He's a member of the board. So is the whole spirit and heart of what we're doing is about what Anton is, that it has to begin with the individual opening to seeing things in new ways and new perspectives, and doing the inner soul work that enables you to do that. And out of that, collective connection, community connection, and the evolution of the world consciousness itself, which is what we're all here for. And so I'm just so grateful to all of you. And I'm 50 years now in ministry, and ministry is really the first and foremost thing is that you are always first a practitioner. You are practicing the presence. You are living it to the best that you can and aligning to it as fully as you can. And so I so celebrate all of you and this organization and what I'm doing. MYOBincorporated.org, that is a whole new dimension of my life that is about, can we really speak about the issues of our time and look at what the great teachers have taught us, that we really are here together to evolve this world. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, amen. Can I get an amen? Beautiful. Thank you. The question here is, where do you feel New Thought is going? And there's some questions about that, right? What we just alluded to, what's going on in the world and all of that. There's always something going on in the world. So where do you think New Thought is going, and what is Anton's role in that?
May I?
Yes.
So part of my ministry is recognizing that the truth of our being, we are whole, complete, and perfect. Life responds to us as we believe, all of those things that we absolutely know to be the truth. But also the fact that in this thing called life, it doesn't always go exactly the way we wanted. So what happens when we're grieving? What happens when something happens? What happens when something happens? So I love what Martha was talking about earlier, and I believe that in the evolution of New Thought, we must continue to be pertinent. We must continue to serve our people and recognize the principles, but also recognize that before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. So we're still chopping wood and still carrying water, but in this foundation of New Thought and oneness, we can continue to walk through whatever it is we're walking through, not in denial, but in heart-centered healing over time. So I believe as a movement, as a community, whatever you choose to call it, as a teaching, that's where we're headed, because more and more people are beginning to talk about the fact that it's not always rainbows and teddy bears. And not only is that okay, but it's just part of this experience called life.
Right. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah, I can add to that. I've been doing this podcast for half a year at this point, and it's the Practical Prayer Podcast, in case anyone's interested. And talking about the difference between New Thought and not New Thought, which is not necessarily old thought, it's just
not new thought.
thinking. And there are a few things, I mean, the big ones we talk about is that it's all principle and it's all consciousness. But the way that shows up in our lives, the difference between regular religion and New Thought, is that we have a divine creative power that's always saying yes, that's creating whatever it is that we're opening ourselves up to. And it's not a punishing God that's going to give us a hard time if we don't do what God wants us to do. It is tremendously liberating and incredibly powerful. And it's also a lot of responsibility. And where I see New Thought going is that becoming more and more mainstream, because we're stepping into our power. Yeah. And we're standing with people who are stepping into their power and acknowledging that if my life sucks, it's because of the way that I've been thinking before, and I get to change that. Not I'm being punished and, please God, stop punishing.
Right. Which is much more liberating. Right.
You take a big step and then it's hugely liberating. It's a big step.
It is.
So we're at 10 minutes.
Okay. I think that New Thought is about the idea of New Thought and being in control of your life does not bring you out of life. Right? Life still happens. What New Thought does for me is brings me peace and grace. So I don't have to beat myself up. I do know that this right now, this too shall end and something else beautiful begins. And that is life. And so that is the truth of New Thought that calls me into it and that wants me to be a part of sharing that peace and grace and liberation with others. That's what New Thought means to me. That's what I would like to see it happening for those who want that. Not everybody does, and that's all okay as well. But for those who do, who are seeking that liberation and peace and a certain amount of control in their lives, that's what I'd like to see New Thought, and it's already there, but continue to grow and understand how that works. So Yeah. So another question, final question. What final thoughts? And I'd like for each of you to speak to it. What would you like to leave with this listening audience? What's a final thought that you'd like to share with them about anything, about what you think about New Thought, where we're going, your part in it, what we've done here, whatever we've been talking about, what final thoughts would you like to leave with this group?
I'll go, which is an unspeakable gratitude for each and every one of you for how I feel knowing you're alive and on the planet, and my absolute rebellion at the thought of any of you leaving the planet ever, and that you continue to be a part of miracle making, the miracles we've made, the miracles we're making, and the miracles that we're continuing to make, and to claim that and to stay uncommonly motivated to see that through. And I serve with you.
Thank you, Martha.
I'll say something about
Please.
that. I'll make one sentence, I guess.
Or as many as you want.
Emerson, Anton, and Martha Creek saved my life. Changed everything changed from the inside out. I may look the same, a little bit grayer, but I'm a different person, and I owe a huge debt of gratitude and gratefulness and love and compassion and wholehearted love to these people right here, because like Missy said, they've become my tribe, and my life is definitely on a path of wonderful greatness and dreams coming true because I'm blessed to be a part of this group. So thank you.
Thank you.
I think that,
What do you say?
that I'd like to leave everybody just with the thought that no matter how you walk, where you walk, with whom you walk, that God is. That that if we remember that one tenet, that God is. In the bad times and the good times, God is. And we hold on to that as the truth of our being, God is. That is the guiding light and keeps us safe and keeps us sane and keeps us grounded, anchored, and keeps us heart-centered with everybody. God is.
I'll go next. I'd like to echo what Missy said and what's been said here, but just really anchor the God is, and we're having this human experience. It's and.
Yes.
It's I am whole, perfect, and complete, and I'm having a human emotion right now that absolutely sucks. Right? I'm not really having that right now, but at times I have had that. And to live and not to spiritual bypass those times that are difficult, to be with them, to be with ourselves, and to know we have a community here in Anton that is here to support, that any of us at any time reach out, we're here to love you, to hold you, to cry with you, to pray with you, to know the truth for you when you can't, to see the light when you can't. And because that is what Anton has done for me many times. And I'm so grateful for that and so honored to be able to give that back and also to still receive it when I need it.
Thank you.
Well, I can go next, and that is that I totally echo Hank, want to do everything that everyone just said, that it's amazing how our organization is growing, and every time that we expand and we bring more people in and we find out that, oh my gosh, you have this kind of talent, you have this kind of knowledge, and just the network of expansion and creativity that we discover within ourselves and within another person, that we are all just being uplifted and growing ourselves up. And it is fabulous. It's really fun. And yes, there are funky times. There are times that we don't want to choose and don't understand. But we have such support here. So,
thank you.
There are times when I do not want to have another growth experience.
Oh, yes.
There are times where I'd be perfectly okay with not having that. And it's wonderful to know that there's a group here to support me and help me out in whatever way is possible to do that. And in the same way, when I encounter somebody else in this group who's having a growth experience, to be able to be present for them,
Yes.
and shepherd them through it is wonderful. Where I leave with this, in the huge enthusiasm, is get your pom-poms out. This is going to be a spectacular year for Hampton. We've got an executive director, we've got the extraordinary support program. We're moving to an association management system. We've got some technical things that are coming up. We got a couple of awesome programs. So, rah, rah, let's go.
Oh,
Yes.
I had something. What Anton is to me, and I think this is so important. It's an affiliation that supports you and uplifts you. We say yes, no matter the crazy idea. It's not crazy if it's spirit coming through you. That is yours to bring to the world, and
Yeah.
we're here to help you do it. So we say yes. We don't have a 6-volume policy book and 8 committees to go through only to say no. We say yes, and we will bring your idea forward. We will help you, much like a mastermind group.
Yeah.
And to me, that was very significant. Also, I've heard from Dr. Abigail, and she said to be sure everyone knows that New Thought Day is on March 6th. So we want to celebrate that when that comes along.
Thank you. Jared, you have anything to say?
I would just say, we invite you to join us if you're not a member of Anton currently, and it looks like from our list, most of you are. But if you're not, today would be a great day to go to the website and get more information. Today would also be a great day to register for our conference, September 26th to the 30th at Amazing and Beautiful Unity Village. More news to follow as far as our virtual conference coming up. Go to the YouTube channel, which is Anton Members and Friends. You'll be able to go back through this and listen to this conversation, as well as previous month's speaker series conversations. And thank you all so much for being with us.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Thank you all. We have, I have a, I love it. Thank you so much. I love it. Do you have anything that you want to share with us about what's upcoming? And then we'll close it out.
Pay attention to the email. We're going to promote all of this by email and on the website. And if you have a question, admin@anton.org, and that will get the ball rolling.
Thank you so much. Thank you all for being here today. It's been amazing. We invite you to join us next month with Reverend Bill. It'll be the Reverend Bill show. So please come and do that. What? I can't.
Oh, I see a hand. As a hand up.
We'll speak it, Michelle.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
I think she might have said we're gonna treat out. Is anyone
Treat
treating
out.
out?
Oh, treating out.
Oh, okay, fine, yeah. You want to?
Yes. Let's all take a moment and just take a deep breath. In this moment, in this very space, we know that within each of us, God is here. Love is here, grace is here. In this very moment, in this very space, we are connected in consciousness, in love, in our knowing that all is well and in divine order, for there could be nothing else. We know that as we all travel out into the world today, whether in body, mind, or spirit, that we take the divine spark with us. I know I am, God is. And this is who and what we are. And this is what we leave with all with whom we come into contact. I know I am, God is. And truly, all is well and in divine order. And this is so.
And so
And so
So it
it
is.
is.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Blessings, everybody. Lots of love.
Goodbye.
Thank you, beautiful board. Love you.
Thank you.
Good to see you all. Sending.
Good to see all of you. Bye, Michael.
Michael. There he is.
Hi, Michael.
Hey, Michael.
Hi, Michael.
Oh.
We got something, what was it? Oh, love to all from
Michael,
Michelle
I'll talk to you
Wadley.
next week.
Michelle,
Bye,
you volunteer now.
Lisa.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Look forward to it.
See you guys.
Thank you, Michelle. We love you.
All right.
See you, Michael Benjamin. We love you.
Love you.
All right, away we go. Kaboom.
Good